20 years ago, they knew mass illegal immigration was a problem in the UK, but they allowed it to continue as a leaked 2004 Home Office memo has just exposed Labour's secret plan. Hey up everyone and welcome to Political Nerds. I'm Steph the Alter Nerd, your nerdy political guide from Washington DC to Westminster and beyond. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing this leaked memo from the Home Office that has exposed Labour's plan that's been 20 years in the making. Now, of course, before I jump into it, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. And as a disclaimer, I'm not inciting hatred to anyone or particular group, religion, etc. So let's jump into it first and foremost with thanks to Bernie at Art and Miss for Now for sharing this story on X. And Bernie's saying the following: Tony Blair, wow. Massive expose in the Telegraph today. A leaked 2004 Home Office memo shows Blair's team admitting mass migration was a growing concern for people. So they cooked up a secret plan to make it more popular. People feel they do not have permission to freely express their fears. Blair's team pushed a radically different communication approach to reframe dissent as racism to smother debate and complaints. They knew and they did it anyway, even when you voted against it. And here in this message on X from Bernie, they're sharing first and foremost the article. And then secondly, the leaked memo. Now, this is from David Blunkett. He was the Home Office Secretary at the time. And he says, "Dear Tony, this is the paper you asked for on the immigration and asylum communication strategy. I also enclose a copy of the research which I'm sending to you and Justin in strict confidence. You will see that this research and the references to it in the paper could be explosive in the wrong hands. In terms of the media campaign, we need to think further about getting the balance right between asylum and other forms of migration. I'm sending this over for discussion at this point to see what you think. And of course, I'm happy to have a debate about it." Yeah, happy to have a debate about it as long as, in terms of the other side, the debate rules go like this: if you disagree with me, you're racist and far right. Wow. So that's where it came from. Whenever we disagreed with illegal immigration, that is where it came from as to why then we were called racist and far right. Now, here's the article in question. This is from the Telegraph. Blair's secret scheme to make immigration more popular. And so here, they're saying that Tony Blair at the time considered a secret plan to make immigration more popular when he was Prime Minister. Now, this was just weeks before we opened the borders to Eastern Europeans. Labour ministers came up with a marketing strategy to overcome what they said was disproportionate concerns about the issue and to communicate the big picture to us instead. And so the plan was to steer our public opinion towards what they considered a more sensible conversation on immigration. In a handwritten note, Blair described the research he'd been reading on immigration as pretty grim but utterly believable. And so then they shared it in secret, strict confidence with each other. But there was a warning from Blunkett saying you'll see that this research and the references to it in the paper could be explosive in the wrong hands. The paper, titled Having a Sensible Conversation About Migration, claimed that the then government had made real progress in reducing the impact of stories about asylum seekers so that they were no longer automatic front-page tabloid material every single time. Well, 20 years later, that's totally backfired on them because A, we're now finding out about this secret memo 20 years ago. And B, oh my goodness, every single day, we're now seeing headlines about these illegal immigrants not only breaking into our country, but doing monstrous things and crimes, predominantly, from what I can tell, against us women and our children. It is freaking sick. And this all kicked off The dominoes started falling down to where we are today 20 years ago with this leaked memo right here. Now, the article goes on to say that it then detailed public research which confirms that immigration is an issue of real concern to people, noting that there were no obvious signs of a breakthrough as a result of what has been achieved so far, and little recognition or credit for what the government has done on asylum. Now, it's not clear if the scheme was ever enacted, but let's be real here. Up until last couple of years, oh yeah, this scheme was enacted. Of course it was. There was that whole thing of if you ever criticised illegal immigrants, asylum seekers, you were called far right. You were called racist. They reshaped the debate to demonise those that have a legitimate problem with the illegal immigration that we're still suffering from to this day. And if anything, over the last 2 decades, it's worsened. It's got worse. Over the last year, it's got substantially worse. 1,000 times more under two-tier Keir. Now, the article then goes on to say that the paper came weeks before Tony Blair opened up Britain's borders to thousands of Eastern European migrants from the Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Slovakia, Slovenia. What a coincidence, right? See, I don't believe in coincidences, do you? And so, here, discussing the communication challenges in getting across a pro-migration message, right? The paper included a textbook-style graphic of a human eye looking towards a circle with the words bogus, scroungers, and out of control, which blocked out another larger circle labelled the big picture. Well, let me be very real on this. The illegal immigration that we're suffering from right now in the UK is definitely out of control. Two-tier Keir is not smashing the gangs. He's freaking smashing records instead. And yeah, they are scroungers because they're coming in, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, because they know they're getting a free ride in the UK. As soon as they come in, what happens? We put them up in fancy freaking hotels. We're giving them money, food. Their clothes are getting washed for. They don't have to freaking lift a finger. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they are scroungers. And they're not freaking asylum seekers. It's totally bogus. They're economic, illegal immigrants. They have passed through to get to us so many freaking countries that are safer from where they came from that they could have easily settled in. But no, they're coming to the UK. Again, why? Because our government just lays out the freaking red carpet for them and they get everything. And the joke's on us because we're freaking paying for it. Now, the article shows a screenshot here, the extract from the Home Office strategy document titled Having a Sensible Conversation About Migration. And it's like, okay, to help achieve this, we've set ourselves 3 key communication objectives for the next year. To improve public understanding of legal migration in the context of global and economic change. To correct public misconceptions about the scale, nature and potential benefits of managed migration. To aid delivery of this, we need a better cross-government rebuttal operation in place. Well, 20 years later, oh, we're seeing the big picture now. Yeah. We're seeing the manipulation our government over the past 2 decades has inflicted on us British people. And now, oh yeah, we're fighting back through peaceful protests outside many of those illegal immigrant hotels. Because guess what? We've had enough. And this leaked office memo from the Home Office just shows that for me, the government over the last 20 years has seen Labour, the Lib Dems, Conservatives in power. They've all conspired to gaslight and act against the interests of us, the British public. Now, a little bit of a side note here, but I wonder why this Home Office memo leak has not gone viral. In other words, why aren't more people talking about this? Because the government knew all along over the past 2 decades. Yet they went ahead against us and tried to gaslight us over the past 2 decades anyway. It is truly freaking disgusting. And that memo, that paper, trying to give us the bigger picture as to how illegal immigration is like the best thing ever, right? It's such a positive for our economy and our society, this, that, and the other. Well, guess what? 20 years later, billions every year that our taxpayer money is going towards these illegal immigrants that are scroungers as far as I'm concerned. They're just taking advantage of us all. Illegally working, because hello Deliveroo, hello Uber Eats. And thanks to the Keir report, we now know that there is a high correlation between illegal immigrants and these rape gang situations going on. We also know that there's a high correlation between the illegal immigrants and other acts of crime that they're doing in this country. Well, yeah, 20 years on, we are seeing the big picture now. This whole illegal immigration situation is not the plus. It's not the bonus that the government tried to gaslight us over these years. No, 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 no. It is bringing our country down as far as I'm concerned. We're spending money on these people we don't freaking have. The government is turning round, right, and saying there's no more money for the councils in our areas, right? And the councils, in response, have to reduce the services that they're offering, but then increase our council tax as a result. Well, hang on a minute. How is the government finding literally billions upon billions of pounds to house these illegal immigrants, give them all the freaking benefits in the world and all the financial advantages that, quite simply, the average British person in the country is struggling for at the moment? There's still a cost of living crisis for us British people here. People are still having to choose between eating or heating their home. Yeah, 20 years later, we're definitely seeing the bigger picture now. And this leaked memo, they knew. They knew all along. The manipulative sons of fucking bitches. How could they do this to us? It is sick. It's truly disgusting. And like I asked earlier on, why aren't more people talking about this leaked memo? The government knew all along the past 2 decades. They went ahead against us anyway. I'm flabbergasted at this. Before I rant any more and keep you here for hours on end, if you appreciated this and you want more, and unfortunately with the state of the UK at the moment, there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alternate Tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Steph Alternate. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. What do you think to this leaked memo? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters.